Well, good morning, everyone. Please be seated. I'm Brett Hollander from WBAL, and thank you so much for being with us today on this big day for Baltimore. Ladies and gentlemen, Congressman Ruppersberger, Mayor Young, Council President Scott, Lieutenant Governor Rutherford, and other esteemed dignitaries and fellow Baltimoreans, the Port Covington project is officially moving forward. The groundbreaking today is the exciting culmination of the hard work and dedication and collaboration of so many people. This marks the beginning of Port Covington's exciting next chapter, and we will soon see a community that is inclusive, vibrant, and brings new life to an area of Baltimore that was once an industrial and environmental wasteland. The mission is to make this development a neighborhood that current and future Baltimoreans will be proud to call home. Port Covington is about a lot of things. It's connectivity, accessibility to other parts of the city and beyond. It will also be a business hub where Baltimoreans will work for generations to come. Specifically, we will see a dynamic Baltimore rise with new cyber tech jobs, and businesses of all kinds will thrive in Port Covington. The Port Covington development team has delivered on its promises. They are bringing to Baltimore City an important influx of opportunity and outside investment. The best part is, this is just the start. The caliber and reputation of the first tenants will inspire many more innovative companies to follow and will be a catalyst for Charm City taking us into the future. We have many VIPs and dignitaries who are here today who have had an important role to get us to this moment. And it's far more important to hear from them than to hear from me, to say the least. Allow me to give a brief introduction for our speakers today. We begin with Mark Weller, the founding partner of the Weller Development Company and the leading construction of the Port Covington Development Project. Since the beginning, Mark has helped shape the vision for this great effort. Through his community-driven approach, Mark's name has become synonymous with Port Covington, and he has spearheaded one of the largest urban renewal projects in the country. A lot of hours, a lot of sleepless nights to get us to today. And Mark, I can't wait to read the book in 20 years to find out how it all went down. So before we introduce Mark Weller, let's roll the video.
Tonight, the Baltimore City Council put the stamp of approval on the $660 million for the Port Covington project. The project is being called transformative for Baltimore.
The creation of possibly over 26,000 permanent jobs and billions in annual economic impact for the city.
A deal like this between a developer and a community is historic.
Part of feeling good about your community is hope.
And the level of commitment that people have to the city and to the state and to this vision, couldn't have asked for anything more.
We can do it all day. Yeah.
It is one of those projects that literally changes an entire region.
I tell them we can do it all day.
One of the largest urban redevelopment projects.
That kind of allows those entrepreneurs to work as hard as they want to work, play as hard as they want to play in one central location.
2.5 miles of waterfront land. Port Covington was designed to help companies attract and retain world-class talent.
Port Covington is more of a destination, the future of the city of Baltimore.
There are collisions happening. It allows for a city to grow into what we know it can be.
It's got me seeing sideways.
Good morning, thank you. Thank you for being here today. I gotta tell you, the rain, this is a great thing. This is incredible. I wouldn't have it any other way. When we ground broke the distillery, many of you were here, it poured. It absolutely poured. Number 8 distillery in the United States of America, okay? When we opened the hotel, it was freezing and it poured. Mr. Mayor, you remember that? Number 1 hotel in the United States of America. So I think this is good luck. It also rained on my wedding day, and I'm still married 20 years later. A famous athlete once said, and I like this, I can't say who it is, but I'm gonna just say this. I never wanted it to come easy for me. I always wanted it to come difficult. So when I was finally holding the Lombardi Trophy, it felt like I worked for it. Well, that's what Port Covington feels like for myself and the entire team, getting to this point. Talking about partnership, Port Covington is one of the largest urban renewal projects in the United States of America. It is all about the team. Do not kid yourself, this is a team effort. People from everywhere. We can't do this alone. World-class team of engineers, architects, designers, construction partners, dedicated community leaders, and business owners. We need even more great partners to fully realize our potential as a project in this city. So stay tuned. There'll be many more people that are part of this big team. And today I thought about it. Normally when you have a groundbreaking and the weather's bad, not that many people show up. But you know why everybody showed up today? Because this is everyone's project. Everybody in this room had something to do with it being great. We consider ourselves a double bottom line company. So I want to give you an example of what that means. Partnership is a big partnership we're kind of announcing right now, and this is one of the things I'm so proud of. The South Baltimore Flat Fare and Grocery Access Pilot. As we speak, we're working on a transformational partnership. It's going to provide access and opportunity to South Baltimore residents. A partnership between South Baltimore Gateway, 28 Walker Development, which is Mark Saperstein's team, SB7 Transportation Subcommittee, the Weller Development Company, and the Port Covington Development Team. Get ready for this. We're creating a $2 flat fare zone for South Baltimore through Lyft. You can get anywhere you want in South Baltimore during business hours, during commuter hours for $2. From your store, from your house to the store, back to the doctors, wherever you need to go. It applies to any ride originating inside there. Hold on one second, I'll finish, and then providing $2 rides at grocery store helps address the food desert in South Baltimore while providing transportation, mobility, equality. This is a big deal. This will be a pilot. This will be a pilot that will be around the country in no time when we get it working. Again, want to thank the Baltimore Gateway Partnership and Brad Rogers. He's been an amazing partner in all this. We're going to be expanding the program hopefully into Baltimore City as well, and we're looking forward to partnering with the other stakeholders. Today's groundbreaking is momentous because of a lot of reasons. The project is real. The project is starting. We're open for business. New companies are moving here. Outside investors, we're looking to bring them into Baltimore. New partners. We're trying to continue on the momentum we've already established. I talked about the distillery across the street. Out of 2,000 distilleries, number 8 in the United States. Rye Street Tavern, one of the best restaurants in the country and a really strong food scene here in Baltimore. Nick's Fish House, which just continues to amaze everybody with how many people come there on the weekends. Almost everybody in this room has called me Saturday or Sunday at 2 o'clock saying, "Can you get me in?" It's fine, that's part of the job. Text me or call me, I'll keep doing it. City Garage, the hub for innovation and entrepreneurship, that's been amazing for us as well. And then the Pendry, tying back into it, the Pendry Hotel. So there's so many thank yous to go around, so if I forget anybody, I apologize profusely. First one I want to thank, probably who deserves a lot of credit for this, if not all of it, and the reason it started is Kevin Plank. His vision and his commitment to the city of Baltimore is incredible, and I can't be more thankful. Lieutenant Boyd Rutherford, thank you very much. Lieutenant Governor, Mayor Jack Young, Controller Joan Pratt, Congressman Rupersberger, Congressman Cummings, who's not here today, but he has people who are here. Senator Chris Van Hollen, City Council President Brandon Scott, congratulations, Brandon. Members of the City Council are here today. Costello, Councilman Reisinger, Councilman Pinkett, Councilman Schliefer, Kim Clark and Kyler Talbot from the BDC, Bill Cole from the BDC. Without the BDC, this would not be possible. Really been amazing. Governor Hogan, he's not here today, but I can't say enough thanks. Our lending partners. People have to give us money, we have to use money, and it takes a lot of belief to come in here and do that. PNC, cannot thank them enough. Eagle Bank, Matt Leidig, original believer, Ron Paul, the entire team over there. United Bank, Tim Veith. The Port Covington Development Team, which is made up of Goldman Sachs, Margaret Anadu. Plank Industries, my partner and very close friend, Tom Geddes over here. Whiting Turner, Tim Regan and his team, Clark Construction, Robbie Moser and his team, my wife and 4 boys and my daughter. What's really cool today is my kids actually got to come see this. They actually know that I actually do have a job. I just don't go out to dinner and go to Vegas and things like that. There's actually something that I have to do. Alicia Wilson, she's been an amazing part of this as well. Cannot say enough good things. My partner, Steve Siegel in particular, he's been here since the beginning. He works really, really hard to make this work. Mike Middleton, okay? Mike, we're gonna talk about the community, and this is probably the most important part of it. Terrell Williams from Build, Joe Jones, Center from Urban Families, Reverend Hathaway, unbelievable partners, so many other ones that I could mention too. So back to community a little bit and back to using our convening power, and that's what we were able to do with a project like this. This is a new one that I'm announcing today as well. This is very exciting. We have the 4th of July Cherry Hill Arts and Music Waterfront Festival. This year, in collaboration with our closest neighbors in Cherry Hill, we are literally South Baltimore Gateway Partnership, the Resiliency Institute of Cherry Hill, and the Maryland Art Place. We're working together on the 4th of July for Cherry Hill Arts and Music Waterfront Festival on both shores of the Patapsco. This will be activated with art and celebration. It will be a day filled with music, art, dancing, games, fun, and of course, fireworks. We are honored to be able to make this work with our partners in the city and help make this happen. This is a big deal again. Can't thank everybody enough for that. So, it's no secret that we are experiencing consistent negative PR in the city. But as many in this room today are doing from around the city, we're working every day to change the narrative and most importantly, the reality. We are a city that's rich in history and tradition. Our residents are entrepreneurs, visionaries, and together we will drive forward in Baltimore. We thank you for all of us helping you get here today. I will continue to need your support. The team will come down here to Port Covington while the construction is going on. Port Covington will be one of the greatest places in the world to live, work, and play. I'm personally looking forward to seeing you at the grand opening in just a short couple of years. God bless Baltimore.
Thank you, Mark. And this project would not have happened without the invaluable support of our next speaker and the commitment of the governor's administration, which has been instrumental in making this project a reality. Please welcome Lieutenant Governor of Maryland, Mr. Boyd Rutherford.
Good morning. And no, I'm not taking my hat off. Thank you, Brett, for that introduction. Thanks, everyone, for joining us this morning. You know, and particularly thanking Mark Weller and Weller Development for bringing us together this morning. You know, it is truly wonderful to see the progress that's taking place here at Port Covington, how it's grown and progressed over time. You know, I remember, and I guess it was about 5 years ago, when the governor had received a briefing, and I think it was right after the election, so 4.5 years ago, a briefing on what was planned here at Port Covington. And he came back to, we weren't in the State House at that time, back into our offices and was excited about the prospects of what was going to go on and take place here. And then I remember a couple of weeks or maybe a month or so later, touring the site with Mark, and Mark's excitement, which anyone who's been around Mark, he's always excited anyway, but Mark's excitement, was really palpable, and it transferred to myself and anyone who was around. And I remember visiting Mark at that office over by the Museum of Industry. Are you still there? Are you still in there? Okay, so a couple more months, okay. And then touring the site and just everything that was going on. And so it is really great to be here and very eager to see and witness the economic opportunities that are going to take place right here in Baltimore, in Maryland. You know, just as a side note, I don't know if anyone saw over the weekend, the Wall Street Journal pointed out that Baltimore is a go-to place for young people. Now, maybe some of us older people can come as well, but they're talking about, you know, a go-to place for young people and cybersecurity and cyber that's going to take place here. And they mentioned specifically Port Covington. So there is a positive national reputation that's getting out there, despite what we hear in our little, bubble here in Maryland. But, you know, these public-private partnerships, community involvement are excellent examples of what can be done when the private and public sectors work together. And it's an excellent time in our state where we have this tremendous opportunity to continue the economic turnaround that we've had over the last several years. As Mark said, Maryland truly is open for business, and that's not just a slogan. It's what we plan to do and continue to do every day through this administration. Our administration will remain focused on improving our business climate, creating jobs, and growing the economy. And I wish to welcome Port Covington, this new community, to Maryland, to Baltimore, and all that it will bring. And I'm confident that Port Covington will continue to bring Baltimore new and exciting economic opportunities in the coming years. Thank you very much.
I love the hat. I love the hat. Never take it off, Mr. Lieutenant Governor. Well, out and about town this past weekend, everywhere people were saying, did you hear the mayor's swearing-in speech? Did you hear it? It's just passionate, and it coincides with the sense of optimism and hope and new beginnings that we have in Baltimore right now. People are still talking about a swearing-in speech. The mayor of Baltimore, Jack Young.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. First, I'd like to thank Mark Weller and the Port Covington team, but I'd be remiss if I didn't thank our BDC partners. You know, they worked very hard to make sure this deal was a good one. I want to thank the council president. You know, that was my old job. And we was very instrumental in making sure that this happened. Thank the controller and her team. But I just have to point out Councilman Costello, because when it got really deep, I told the councilman, I said, I need you to do some maneuvering here. And he did everything that he could to make sure that we got this deal done. Our bill partners that stepped up to the plate, and the community, SB 7, under the leadership of Mike Militant. This was a whole community process. And what I've said from the onset, that we can support this TIF if the community are totally engaged, not just in words, but in deeds. And I can truthfully stand here to tell you that that has really happened. And I'm excited to be here today. I have a script, I'm not following that. But anyway, I just want you all to know that all the pieces are coming together. I want to thank our federal partners, our state partners, and anybody else who I forgot, I want to thank you as well. But this project is so vitally important to Baltimore. Mark whispered to me and asked me, did I see the article in the Wall Street Journal? I didn't, because I try not to read negative news, but that was a good news story that I should have read. But we can't let you know, the outside influence paint the narrative of Baltimore. Baltimore is a great, resilient city, and its people are resilient as well. We will rise from this, and we will be the #1 city that everybody is talking about in the state of Maryland and around the country. Baltimore is the heart of the state. So goes the city, so goes the state. So again, thank all of you for being here this morning, and I look forward to my continued working partnership with Port Covington and all its team members. Again, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We've already heard from someone from the highest level of state government. We just heard from our city's mayor. Let's turn to a longstanding member of the United States Congress who's a proud Baltimorean and Marylander. From the 2nd Congressional District, Congressman Dutch Ruppersberger has worked tirelessly with the Port Covington team to foster this development. Please welcome Congressman Dutch Ruppersberger.
Good morning, everybody. I tell you, what a great day for Baltimore. You know, I'm used to having a little sip of whiskey over there and some good food, but we're going to play in dirt today. And you know, when you play in dirt, and I know when I served in local government, that means things are happening, and they are happening here. You know, jobs are very, very important. Jobs, just think what you would be, where you'd be right now, and how you would feel if you didn't have a job. And one of our major issues is to create jobs, because if you don't have a job, you can't support your community, your family. And coming together in the community is where it starts. And Mark, you know, the community coming together helped this project. It takes a team. Who said that? But it does take a team, and this is the team that's made something happen. You know, I've got something too. I'm not going to read it. I believe, Mayor, this is a new beginning. And I like the way you started out. You reached out to all of us. You said, we're going to make a difference. And we are going to make a difference. And thank goodness, Mr. Plank and the Under Armour team, thank goodness they had the vision to invest in Baltimore. Just think what this was. It wasn't a lot. And the vision to come here today. And we need it in Baltimore now. You know, I'm homegrown Baltimore. I grew up, I remember I used to hitchhike in those days and go to Memorial Stadium to go into bleachers so the pitchers would throw the balls up to us. Remember that? You ever do that, Jack? Well, if you're from Baltimore, those are the things you remember. But Baltimore is alive. My son is raising his family, has a 1.5-year-old child, and they believe in Baltimore, and they're staying in Baltimore City. That's what we need to do. You know, in Washington, and there are some war games going on over there, but we won't talk about that. But the younger generation who work in Washington, a lot of them live here in Baltimore because it's cheaper food, drinks, whatever you want to say. And also, it only takes about $5 to $7 to take a train back and forth. And that is where our future is going to be also. What I really like about this project, though, is I specialize in national security and all the cyber security issues. I represent NSA. And they're great. They're not listening to anybody, believe me. But, you know, this park in the beginning, what we're really talking about here today is the cybersecurity beginning in the Baltimore area. We have a lot of people. Bob Hackerman, who's one of the key players here, who's from California, and he believed in Baltimore. He believed that the people in Baltimore have the experience to deal in this area, and he's one of the investors here. Bob, I thank you for being here, and you know, you see the quality of life and what it takes to do in the cyber area. And you know, we also have Data Tribe, which you work with, by Mike Janke. Is he here? Maybe he's not. And also you have Mike Gill and Richard Core, Evergreen Advisors. Those are the three companies that have decided to invest here and start this park that we're going to have with respect to cybersecurity. So in closing, we're alive in Baltimore. No more stinking thinking. You know, we know where we are. We know we love our city. We have tremendous history going way, way back. I think my great-great-grandfather started a business on Pennsylvania Avenue in I think it was 70s, something like that. And the generations come here. But we want new people, too, and that's what we're going to do here today. Can't tell you left, Mark. Thanks for pulling this team together, and we're going to be behind you 100%. Take care.
Thank you, Congressman Rupersberger. There's a lot of new beginnings floating around Baltimore these days. This project's about to get underway. We have a new mayor. Well, how about a new city council president? A young one at that, for the record. Council President Scott is 2 months older than I am. But his historic rise is very simple, actually. No one will outwork him and no one will outpassion him when it comes to his hometown of Baltimore. I know this is a proud day for him. Please welcome the new City Council President of Baltimore, Mr. Brandon Scott.
Thank you, Brett. Good morning, everyone. This is a celebration. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, thank you. This is Baltimore. We're not silent, we're very loud. I am proud to be here today. I want to say thank you to the Port Covington team, Mark, everyone involved, but you know Mark would be remiss. Most of the council members heard from Mark and his team, but for me, they used a special weapon. It's kind of hard when one of your best friends in the whole wide world, Alicia Wilson, is on the Port Covington team, and they know you can't... And she knows you can't ignore her because, one, she lives around the corner, and two, she knows your entire family. So I'll have to give a big shout out to Alicia. Baltimore is a city of neighborhoods, and I am looking forward to Port Covington joining the over 200 neighborhoods in Baltimore, which makes Baltimore the city, great city that it is. And Congressman, you're right. Young people that work in D.C. live in Baltimore for one reason, because we're better than D.C. Let's be very clear about that. Our economy has been growing at a record speed, and Port Covington is going to add to that prosperity. I'm going to be very brief because I didn't come here to speak today. I came here to throw some dirt so that we can get to work. But what I think is most important that folks can take away from today is the work that the Port Covington team has put in. The work, not just with the city council, not just what they're doing with the businesses, but with the community, with Bill, with Redham Hathaway, with Joe Jones. That is what's going to make Baltimore better. When we realize that we can no longer be a city of silos, that our division among all areas, race, business people, clergy, have to go away. Together is how Baltimore is going to thrive. Together is how we're going to rise from the ashes of the things that have happened to be the best Baltimore we can be. So let's give them a round of applause for realizing that and being trailblazers and working with the entire community. There's a lot of work to do in Baltimore, but trust and believe that every person, every business, every church, every neighborhood plays a role in that. I am gratefully excited to see the role that Port Covington will play in that and look forward to it growing and be a place where people live, work, play, and earn to make Baltimore the best Baltimore it can be. Thank you.
Thank you, Council President Scott. There are political partnerships in a project like this. There's support of the people, the visionaries. You need it all, but you also need some investment. And Goldman Sachs joined the project in 2017 as a major equity investor and joint owner. And Margaret Nadu is the head of the Goldman Sachs Urban Investment Group, and this team has been instrumental in facilitating the success of this project. Please welcome Margaret Nadu.
Thank you. I also got married in the rain, and it's been 10 years. So it's excellent to be here this morning. You know, groundbreakings are always a moment for me to sort of think about what's happened to date and what do we still have to do, because as we all know, there's a lot of work. So to start, I'd love to thank the community leaders and members who are here with us today. I'm actually going to be brief so we can actually get to Mike and Terrell, because the foundation that they've laid, the residents they've supported, you know, we're all here because of them. So I want to give a special thank you to those two. And then, of course, the public sector and the work that we do around the country in community development and economic development, everything we do in sort of, you know, lockstep with the public sector. So thank you to the public sector leaders who have backed this transformative project and played an incredible role in ensuring it serves Baltimore residents here and the ones that are to come. Mayor Young, Lieutenant Governor Rutherford, Congressman Cummings, who I know wanted to be here today but isn't, Congressman Ruppersberger, Councilman Costello. The progress we are marking today and all the progress to come is a testament to your collective leadership and long-term vision for the city. Thank you, of course, to Mark and Alicia and Steve and the team. You know, we tease them a lot and we joke, you know, whenever there's a problem, we say, just work all night. Just work all night. Just stay. Do some more. Figure it out. So thank you for doing that to date and the next, you know, 10, 15 years that we're in this project together. From the first meeting we had with the Sagamore team, there was very good collective agreement that the only path to success was one of shared success. Beyond just those buildings and financing Port Covington, the success had to be shared by those who have long called South Baltimore home and made this area strong. It had to ensure that it created quality jobs and a place for businesses of all types to grow and flourish. Companies as large as Under Armour, as complex as cybersecurity, but just as important as a locally grown one-story bakery. It had to ensure that our neighbors could easily access new parks and waterfront areas, which when done right will be a testament that all members of Baltimore can enjoy and be proud of. Goldman Sachs has invested in billions in community and economic development around the country, and this is our single largest investment. That is no accident. We don't care about the negative narrative. We don't care what people have to say about this city. We believe in it. We believe in this community. We believe in all that it has to offer, and we're here with you, and we're committed. Thank you so much.
Port Covington resides in Baltimore City's 11th Council District, and in the 11th, they have a pro-business and pro-Port Covington advocate in City Hall. Councilman Eric Costello has been a staunch supporter of this vision. Please welcome, from the 11th District here in Baltimore City, Councilman Eric Costello.
Thank you very much, Brett. That's about the nicest thing anyone will say about me all week. Mark, thank you for everything that you and your team are doing. It's just incredible work. This is a very exciting day for Baltimore City, and it's an exciting day for our newest neighborhood, Port Covington. There are so many stories about the great things that you all are doing in the community. We're going to hear from Mike Middleton and Terrell Williams in a little bit about that. But I want to point out one story that maybe not a lot of folks are talking about, and that's a man by the name of Rashid Aziz. Runs a company called Citywide Youth Entrepreneurship, and he creates micro businesses for young men aged 14 to 21. I know Mayor Young, Council President Scott, even the Lieutenant Governor, we've all been very supportive of that program. There are dozens and dozens and dozens of those stories that I'm not going to get into today because, frankly, there's not enough time. But I want everyone to understand the great work that Mark and his team are doing in the community with Alicia, and with Steve and Matt and the entire team. So thank you very much. I also want to take a moment to thank Kevin Plank because none of this would have been possible without his vision from the beginning. Kevin deserves a lot of credit. There has been no bigger supporter of Baltimore City than Kevin Plank. So I just want him to know how much we all appreciate his continued commitment and staunch advocacy for Baltimore City. And lastly, while I have the podium and an audience here, I want to take a moment to thank Mayor Young for his leadership over the last month and a half. This has been an incredibly trying time in Baltimore City. This has been an incredibly trying time for Baltimore City over the last month and a half, and what's been said about Baltimore City. But Council President Scott, we knew from the beginning when Jack took the helm that we had a steady hand of leadership. We knew that we were going to have continuity as city operations and that we were going to make it out all right on the other side of this. So thank you, Mayor Young. Mark, thank you again.
Thank you, Councilman. Our next speaker is the Executive Vice President of the Baltimore Development Corporation. It is a critical nonprofit organization that serves as an economic development agency for Baltimore City. Kim Clark oversees neighborhood and business development and has played a major role in projects throughout the city, including right here. Please welcome Kim Clark.
Good morning. So following in the vein of our fearless leaders, Mayor Young, Council President Scott, I'm going off script too. So I wanted to thank Weller Development, Goldman Sachs, and Plank Industries for their investment. This is, as you've heard over and over and over again, I think it's the second largest urban development in the country. It's extremely important to our city, which is why BDC made the effort to get the tax increment financing through the City Council and the Mayor's signature. I want to thank our staff, then President William Cole and Patrick Terranova of BDC. Tremendous effort, and thank you all. Mayor Young, we look forward to working with you. We're super excited about having a super excited mayor, so thank you so much.
On the community side, you really need strong partners who get it. Mike Middleton, who is the chair of the South Baltimore 7 Coalition, or SB7, has been a strong partner and a fierce community advocate. Please welcome Mike Middleton.
So you know it's getting near the end when the community folk get called on. And I asked the Lieutenant Governor whether or not he was going to keep his hat on. He said he was, so I think if he can do it, I can do it as well. First, I just want to make a personal note to Mayor Young. Jack, thanks so much for what you've done for our citizens here in Baltimore in the last couple of months. Nothing could be harder. We are so proud of you. I thank you for your leadership and the work that you've done in bringing together this Port Covington event. I never could imagine that you would be put in the situation that you are in today. And you're doing a great job. Thank you on behalf of South Baltimore. I want to thank Goldman Sachs. Margaret, thank you so very much. Mark Weller, and a special thanks to Alicia Wilson, a friend, a member of the Port Covington team which many of us in the community have so much faith and trust in. Thank you for all that you do. The South Baltimore 7 Coalition has had the opportunity to work as a partner and trusted advisor to the Port of Covington team since the beginning. As chairman of SB7, I take pride in knowing that Port Covington will deliver on its promises, as it has already done time after time. This ceremonial groundbreaking marks the start of a new chapter that I'm excited to see come to fruition. We will all continue working together to deliver a Port Covington community that is inclusive, prosperous, and impactful for local residents, local businesses, and local workforce itself. Thank you so very much, and we look forward to what is to come.
And last but certainly not least, and staying with the community theme, Terrell Williams has proven to be another fine Baltimore community leader dedicated to making Baltimore realize its potential. He's the co-director of Turnaround Tuesday and the Baltimoreans United in Leadership Development, or BUILD. He has been an effective partner with the Port Covington team. Please welcome Mr. Terrell Williams.
Well, I would like to not go off script, but I work for BUILD and we can't do that. So I'm gonna stick to my script. So good morning, I'm Terrell Williams, lead organizer and co-director of Turnaround Tuesday, BUILD's jobs movement, that have already put 668 returning citizens and unemployed residents to work in living wage jobs. BUILD is a broad-based citizens power organization composed of 43 faith institutions, schools, community groups, and it grew out of the civil rights movement. We have been on the forefront of social change in Baltimore for more than 45 years. Transformation begins with a grand vision, and it leads to opportunities when it's done together. Post Freddie Gray and many decades of disinvestments in Baltimore's people, Baltimore needed a grand vision. Kevin Plank and Mark Weller created that vision that aspired to lift all of Baltimore, the Port Covington development deal. This deal has set a precedent for how development should be done when public subsidies are used, or TIFs. Well, when they said we will do it together, I don't think Mark Weller and Kevin Plank knew what together would mean. Because to build it together required listening to all stakeholders, which is a painstaking, daunting task. But I'm glad they did it. It required tension, it required naming differences and finding mutual interests. It required coming to the table with South Baltimore 6 and BUILD, and stand at that table and negotiating. And in the end, we are here. To build it together means putting Baltimore back to work with a 30% local hiring mandate and $25 million in investment in workforce development training so Baltimoreans will be ready for those jobs. To build it together means 20% of all units would be affordable. To build it together means a total of $135 million in community benefits agreement, the largest benefits agreement in Baltimore City and probably in this country. You see, transformation again begins with a grand vision, and it leads to lifelong opportunities, and BUILD and Turnaround Tuesday are proud partners in turning that vision, where we all share in this Port Covington development, into these lifelong opportunities. So developers from now on understand that the community must benefit when public subsidies are used. I want to say to Kevin Plank, to Mark Weller, to Alicia Wilson, Tom Geddes, to our great elected officials, especially you, our great mayor, thank you so much, sir. We do our best when we cast a vision and come together and partake in its rewards. Build and Turnaround Tuesday are honored to be here today to break ground on our vision, Baltimore's vision. And we are, and we will, rebuild our city together. Join us. Thank you.